Oh, you can ask questions anytime. I don't mind the interruption. I'd rather gab and read poetry, you know.
Just do your job, Charlie.
That's my 1952 Buick Roadmaster Riviera, and me in Hollywood.
So Charlie, why did you turn down the bus trip with Cassady?
Oh, I didn't. Neal had been living. Neal and Ginsberg moved in my flat in San Francisco. We had 7 rooms for $100, and then Ken Kesey came along, and he, I don't know, my aunt was my cousin was a lawyer in Oregon. She knew the Kesey family, but he. Neal mentioned, "Oh, Charlie, let's go get a car or something and drive back to Wichita and Denver." He was from Denver, so I got along with him. He's an old pillhead from the 50s. And actually, there's a picture of Neal and Alan when they came to my apartment, my flat. And they said, "Got any extra room?" And so what was the question?
Why didn't you get on the bus?
Yeah.
Oh, so I remember at a party once, Neal asked me, "Why don't we get something and drive somewhere?" And so Kesey kind of looked down like that. And Kesey had gotten out of jail or something. And hippies didn't like him because they thought he was a snake of some sort. But we never got along well. But I never knew him actually that well. But I went down to the bus and I gave Neal a pair of leather driving gloves because I knew that we had 3940 International trucks, and the bus was, I think, a 39 International. And I knew the steering wheel would eventually rub off and get your hands black because plastic and stuff wasn't invented then. And so I gave him the gloves. And so and Furlingay didn't want to go, and I certainly didn't want to get on a bus and take LSD and go somewhere. That's the last goddamn place I wanted to go on LSD. So I just avoided that trip.
Literally.
Yeah.
Do you regret not getting on the bus?
No. No, I didn't want it. My aunt sent me a picture of it. They buried Kesey up in Eugene, Oregon. She was an attorney up there. And they painted his casket psychedelic colors, and they buried him right there. And the buses, the original buses up there, they had several buses after that. And there's Neal and me, and I had the first Honda motorcycle they sold in San Francisco, 300. And I'd take him to work sometimes. He worked in a tire changing place down on Van Ness. And it was terrible because he was always a driver, and it was hard. He'd say, "Watch the railroad tracks, Charlie, pothole, Charlie," all that. So I wrote a song for Neal Cassady, and my friend Bloodshot Bill, I mentioned, he sang it up in Montreal at a place. I read the poem, and then Bloodshot Bill sang it. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. Oh, really, really Neal. His first love was the automobile. Drove a 34 Ford with suicide doors and a stick shift on the floor, dragging down Main to Colfax Avenue, jumping in the backseat boulevard, kicked back watching the asses in the rear view, cruising past the high school, clock on the dash reading 10:18, past the Neon Diner, last stop for Benzodrine, and onward to another scene. Chicks would rob a joint just to buy him food. One hand on the street, the other in her mood. The blue-eyed kid and the wild-eyed Bobby Soxer California surfers, tarot card sharks, and word shooters. Found Anne Marie in Frisco like a hurricane cock, didn't need the sexual freedom lead. Driving with white pills and pot, but was really addicted to the wheel. Came back to old San Francisco, flower children all over the streets. Carried starstruck Anne Marie in his arms. The Denver kid, he never returns. Traded her Chevrolet coupe for an old Pontiac, up and down the curves, gear it down, pumping the brakes, old Mother Ginsburg, backseat driving, turning toward the Avalon, driving down Van Ness, jumping parking meters, one hand on the gear shift, the other copying a feel, one hand up her dress, the other on the wheel, stole a car in Denver just to hear it peal, just like driving in the races, stole a car in Denver just to hear it squeal. He moved so fast, he had one foot in Cincinnati, the other in Kalamazoo. Women knew just what to do, and all wanted him to be true. Parked in front of Gough Street in a 50 red and white Plymouth Fury. Just back from seeing Kerouac in a hurry. Patrol car in the mirror, the old white and blacks. Drove past someone with little white pills heading into town. He jumped in the driver's seat and spun that Fury around. The roads were paved with powder all the way to Mexico, and train tracks shined in the moon. Did hard time for 2 reefers and came out smoking some boo. First road warrior, never knew what he did wrong to. And that's a picture of Neal and Ann on the way to Bolinas, I think it was. But he died in Mexico, strangely. He never ate because he took bennies all the time.